And we're live. Welcome back to another Corona Geek, here where we talk all about mobile app development using Corona SDK. I'm your host, Charles McKeever, and today is a continuation of last week's topic on physics. We started a whole series on creating physics bodies and working with joints and creating ragdolls, and there was even a wheeled cart, some wheeled cart action in there. So if you didn't have a chance to go see Corona Geek, what is it, 146 now? Then go over to youtube.com/coronageek and check that out. There is a sampler there, well, along with all the sample code that we played with, and you can kind of pick things apart and see how it is all constructed. Joining us on the panel today is Dr. Brian Burton from burtonsmediagroup.com.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Also joining us is Ed Marina from roaminggamer.com. And then Steven is joining us down. Are you still down in Mexico? He is. He's shaking his head yes. So, all right. That doesn't qualify as down under, does it? That's a whole different thing. What's the Margaritaville? Is that okay? I know. So today we're going to continue our conversation on physics. I know last time we kind of went through some things like how to troubleshoot physics objects, which was very helpful, I think. We talked about kind of how turning on hybrid mode helped with that. Also, I think, wasn't there we had a conversation on objects that were sleeping as well, right?
Yes, sleeping.
Which I thought was a very interesting conversation about how each of those objects would go to sleep, and then just before they were going to be interacted with, they would be woken up, I guess you could say, and then that, that made a difference in how things interacted with each other. So, I don't know. Do we have any announcements for this week? Does anybody on the panel want to go first?
I have a forthcoming game. It will very soon. We're in the final stages of testing it, but very simple. But hopefully very addictive game that will be out very soon.
Hopefully very addictive.
Hopefully.
Your money.
And all of our play testing has been very addictive. So
I'm looking forward to ruining some lives.
That's right. Don't sleep, don't eat, don't do your job, just play
my game.
Yeah, this week in the news, the divorce rate went up.
2% on the release of.
That's right, exactly. Anybody else? Any other exciting news? Brian, do you do any sort of keyword research before you publish your apps? Or you kind of like you focus solely on the app itself?
I focus on the app.
Just on the app.
If I like it, I'm hoping other people will like it as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know there's.
I make games first for me.
I totally agree because so far everything that I've published has been something that I like to play first, and I think that helps me to want to actually work on the thing. Right. But when I go to publish, I start thinking about keywords and stuff and how people are going to find it. I didn't know if you guys...
Right. I do a little bit of research on that, not as much as I probably should do.
Yeah.
But I rely on things like Corona Geek to let people know it's out there. So.
All right. So, yeah. The ASO thing just seems like it's kind of a waving of the hands, but
it is. Yeah, it's magic happens, and then suddenly you're popular.
Right, and then there's a store change, and then you're not popular.
Right. And it is definitely a moving target that you're shooting at with ASO. So it's. Yeah. I'll do a little bit of research and continue to tweak it as time goes by. But it is a continuous tweaking thing. You know, all the popular apps, assuming we're not talking about something that was created by a huge celebrity, or George Takai tweets about it or something like that. We are very dependent upon people finding it, reviewing it, tweeting about it, saying they enjoyed playing the game, and just the luck of the draw for the success of our app.
Yeah. Do you guys do any sort of? Do you send it to friends and family and ask them to play test or anything, or what do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you get a good response rate on that? Do people actually, like?
So far,
Sometimes it can be hard to get the people who know you the most. They're
right.
I
tend to keep my testing circle fairly small. Then I'll try and get something out there, and then I'll demonstrate it to my class, and that gets me at least 20 or 30 people downloading it usually.
Oh yeah, well they're
They need to play test it for class. So.
right. But I mentioned your grade. Your grade is dependent on your participation.
If you don't get a score of 1,000 on this, your success rate in the class could be in danger.
Well, Jason would definitely pass that class with flying colors. That's for
Yes.
sure. So thanks for joining us, Jason. We got Jason Schroeder here from jasonschroeder.com.
Hello.
I like saying it like that, jasonschroeder.com.
I'm working on it. We'll call it a soft launch. I've had the idea for what I would call my one-man studio for a while, and I bought the domain name, so I guess it's a thing. So soon to be highfalutin software. I just like that word.
Highfalutin software.
So there's highfalutinsoftware.com and highfalut.in. I own both of them.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So,
That's kind of creative.
And yeah, I think I'm working on a game right now that I hope to release by the end of the summer, and that'll be sort of the first one under that umbrella. So.
Oh, cool. So are you going to point your personal domain to something else?
Not sure yet. Right now, the highfalutin software just goes to my website. I haven't built anything out yet. I just sort of bought the domain. But I think I might try and separate. I think I'll keep jasonschroeder.com Corona-oriented and app dev-oriented. But I think I might, move some parts of it right now where descriptions of my apps and things off to the highfalutin side. Certainly anything that's released under that umbrella, and then keep the blogging side of it. If I release a library or a module or whatever, I'll probably do that on my own site.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because once you get into the sort of the business side of things, you kind of need to present, what we're about, products and services, examples of work, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a vanity thing right now, truthfully. But I thought, I always like that notion. I think if I have to call myself something, we'll do that. So. I've been working on my little splash screen. Like I said, vanity.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's good. It's this stuff that keeps us motivated. So, okay, well that's good. So, just a reminder that we have this week and then next week. Really, I guess you have all of next week that you can play to participate in June's Corona Geek Games. We're playing Alone by Laser Dog Games. And then we're also playing, 1.1 Target. So if you are interested in trying to win a $50 gift card, you definitely need to participate. Get a high score, post it on the Corona Geek Facebook page over at facebook.com/CoronaGeek. And then we will announce the winner at not this week, not next week, but the week after. And hopefully we'll draw your name from the hat. So we'll have links in the show notes to both those games. You can play them. They're a lot of fun. So, Ed, how's it going?
So Ed is clicking away and getting this all set up to talk to.
Now, last week we kind of dug into the documentation. We looked at physics and how what the documentation said for the joints and stuff like that. And we also looked at the overview of how joints are constructed and how the ragdolls were constructed and stuff like that. I think this week we were actually going to get into the code.
Yeah,
so.
This week I will avoid discussions about esoteric or other physics features. I think that perhaps we can come back and discuss some of those things later. For example, we got a little bit off topic last week talking about set continuous and some other features. I will clarify that I made a mistake last week on set continuous. Basically, set continuous is saying to continuously iterate to have the physics engine running nonstop. So whether or not a body is awake or asleep is irrelevant. What it's saying is basically just if it's in the awake pool, process it. And what that does is prevents errors. It reduces the likelihood of physics calculations errors that will show up as visual anomalies. For example, one thing which is called tunneling, where one object that is moving passes through another object when it should not. This happens with high-speed objects, and I will stop the discussion here, I think, because this gets complicated. Some people